Hey, what's up? It's Holden. It's JT. It's G Ryzen. It's kind of like JT's really tall, and then I'm in the middle, and then G Ryzen's a little shorty. I like how this is working today. Hi, G Ryzen. What's going
Good morning,
on over there,
sir?
pal? 7 games you're thinking? I mean, I thought it was 8 games with the hurricane. Now you're thinking 7 games?
Yeah, there's a possibility that we might lose that Baltimore and Atlanta game from what I'm seeing. So looks like some heavy rains. Looks like the hurricane's wiping out the northeast side. So looks like that game is in danger from what I'm seeing.
What's going on, Mr. JT Hayes? How are you, pal?
I'm doing great. I didn't see the same weather as G Ryzen, and of course he drops that on us as he, in the middle of a conversation, says 5, 4, 3. It might be a 7-game slate. So I'll have to hear a little bit more. I'll take a little bit of a look here on.
I'm gonna go look myself
on my Dark Sky app, as you guys know that I use. And
Scattered storms. G Ryzen, get off the Modelo.
I mean, you gotta sack up, man. I mean, get a pair. There's some juiciness in that game. There's even a pitcher that I might be mildly interested in there. So hopefully we don't lose it. That's what I have to say about G Ryzen's weather update, which threw me for a little bit of a loop here to start the show. So
G Ryzen, how messed up were you last night, pal?
You know, I did have a few Modelo's, maybe I ate an edible or two, but I wasn't all that bad. I was, I was in
buzz. You were nice and buzzed.
Form.
Yeah, buzzed.
Yeah, I was buzzed.
People think I eat the most edibles here, but it's not even close. I am probably the 4th. I would say I'm the 4th most edible eater at Run Pure Sports. I'm going to go with Stevie Boynton, number 2 behind you. I can't tell you who number 3 is, but I'm definitely number 4. JT Hayes, probably a top 4 drinker at Run Pure Sports. Is this accurate or inaccurate? I feel like you drink a lot.
I mean, I don't know how to feel about that. I definitely don't ingest any edibles. So if there is a list that I would be on, it would be for having a couple of beers.
Yeah, they're not. They are not always, in there. A lot of comments about my looks. I couldn't get my camera on today, so I'm just using the computer camera. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about that, right? Just to stop. You guys are guys. You don't have to talk about my appearance. Be comfortable in your own skin, and that's about it. What are they saying? Travis is here. Oh, he went 2-0 on bets, so now he's talking shit to everybody. That's wonderful. Just terrific. Way to go, Mangone. Anything you'd like to say to Mangone this morning, JT, before we get into this 7.5 game slate, according to G Ryzen?
I love that Sweet Travis is up grinding early. Didn't see him on the bet show. You think he would text a buddy and say, hey, this is what I like and what I don't. I told him I didn't love the Red Sox last night as much as I wanted to. So I don't know where he ended up, but it is what it is.
He took Eduardo Rodriguez under K-prop, which was a very sharp look.
Very nice.
Nice look by him. Yeah, I'm a fan. If you're playing preseason DFS today, playbook is up. I just read through the playbook. Our boy, You Kill Bill Walsh. I do college football shows with him all the time. He's terrific. It's Brucey, terrific individual. You get preseason. We are 2 weeks away from the NFL season. Actually, less than that because you got the Thursday night game. So let me just give us the spiel here, and then you can get into it. RPS NFL 15. It's not going to be around much longer. This is going to be the best deal that you're going to get because once the season starts, it's gone. RPS NFL 15, 15% off, not just a month, the lifetime of your monthly subscription. So if we are alive here in 30 years and you are alive here in 30 years, great job. You save 15% for like 360 months. Very impressive. Maybe even more than that, JT. Are you good at math? Just many times that you get discounts. NFL, UFC, baseball still, NBA in 2 months, which I really don't want to think of. Tons of preseason content. NFL. So RPS NFL 15 is the code here. Uncle T, shove it up your bum hole. I don't want to hear from you today. And besides for that, wonderful to see Travis Mangone. He is not in the shore. But, if he was at the shore, he'd be in a hurricane, ding dong. Who's asking Mangone if he's in the Jersey Shore? They're getting crushed by a hurricane. It's all too much. Are we getting G Rison and JT for NFL this year? I don't know. What do you want to do? What do you want to do there? Don't tell me that's hurtful, Uncle T. Every day you come in here, you talk your shit. I can't wait till the old guys pod. I got so much.
That's Uncle T's favorite word. If we ever had an Uncle T shirt, it's gonna say hurtful under his picture.
It's so hurtful, me. You know, I know it's a Run Pure Sports term, but it needs to take it back a little.
No, you don't. You know why? Because that's my term. That's my term. The first time I used it on one of the baseball shows last year, everyone started howling, and then it became a thing. And you know what? Fuck you, Holden. You are hurtful.
Hey, that's not very nice.
It's probably just as hurtful.
See you next Tuesday.
Attacks on Uncle T.
Yeah, I can't call you what I want to call you, so I'm going to say it again. See you next Tuesday. That's what you are.
You're not allowed.
See, I got you. I got you good right there. I got you, JT.
I love it.
You see what I did there, G Rison? You see what I called him without calling him?
I enjoyed that. I did. That was good.
Yeah, I did. Okay, guys, let's get into this slate. I do enjoy working with both of these gentlemen. There's no doubt about it. We always have fun on a Sunday morning. And then what do I keep telling you? I got to go do the bet side.
Do the bet show. He's got to do the bet show.
What time does it show? Does it start at noon again today, Holden? How many times are we going to talk about the bet show?
JJ, screw you.
JJ should come on, and we should just talk bets too, because
it works. Screw you.
I mean, Holden's the kind of guy to be dating one chick, trying to put it in her in the bathroom in between, saying, hurry up, I got to go see another chick at 10 o'clock. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, that's Holden. We excuse him for it. When you're a player, you're a player.
Good weekend. It's been a very good weekend, and it caused me to not see Hoop or Big T at the live final here in Denver, and I don't regret it whatsoever. So I'm fine with that. Uncle T, if you came out here, I wouldn't see you either. JT, I'd probably make some time for you, though. I'd make some time for you. We could definitely go out and just beat people up. It'd be great. So pitching today, an 8-game slate, although G Rison says it's a 7-game slate. I'm not as worried about the weather in Baltimore as you are, G Rison. Where are you finding this? I see 50% chance of storms. We might, if you're throwing pitchers out from this game, we might have an issue, but I'm not worried about it. So tell me why you're worried about this. It's the big story right now. And I just typed in Orioles into AccuWeather, and it didn't give me a town. So I might as well type in Baltimore. Well, talk to me. Why are you worried about this?
From what I'm seeing, I think from what I see, there's supposed to be light rain before the game, and they're going to have to play a little bit of rain through some light rain. So if they're willing to do that, they'll play. If not, then there could be an issue. I'm just going to keep my eye on it for now. That's all. I'm just kind of keeping you guys aware of what the situation is. And right. It looks a little scarier than normal. I'm not saying it's gone yet, but it just does. It does have some concern there.
The context here is the Braves definitely do not go into Baltimore again this year.
No.
And the side issue there is they may go into Washington one more time. So we'll have to take a look at that, because if they don't make a trip up there, I think a little rain isn't going to bother them. If they do have an off day somewhere down the road and it's that bad, but I haven't seen that it's enough to take me at least off of any of the bats here if you're interested in that.
I mean, it is at 1 o'clock.
So. I bet you 100 milligrams of edibles that they play. I'm serious.
Well,
they get through at least 5.
We got plenty of those in the fridge. You can
take
whatever flavor you want.
It's a bet. I'm totally down with this. All right, we're going to get into this slate now. Pitching, G Rison. Steven Matz is actually a guy I'm going to consider today. We got Wainwright. We got Framber Valdez. Give me your top pitcher. Give me a little bit of the rest of the guys in your pool, and then we'll get to JT.
Yeah, pitching today is interesting. I mean, you look up at the top and you got Wainwright against pretty weak Pittsburgh team. I think he looks like on paper to be in the best position. I just don't know if I can pay $9,600 for Adam Wainwright. So I'm just not quite a fan. I do think Steven Matz, as you mentioned already, is probably going to be the chalk against the Tigers. I mean, if you look at that Tigers lineup they rolled out, it's god awful. I don't even know where. I mean, that lineup, I think they got Hill, Shoop, Grossman, Cabrera, Candelario, Cameron, Castro. I mean, the bottom part of that lineup is not very good. So I do think Matz is going to be fairly chalky. I don't know if he's good enough pitcher to be chalk, to be honest, but I mean, I can't fault you for playing it. The price is right. He has had a couple high strikeout games here recently. The Tigers have just been awful. I just think that lineup's not really that good. You can look at Framber Valdez as well against Seattle. That's just another guy I think's just priced a little too high for my liking. But yeah, I think pitcher is tough today. I mean, maybe you could bounce to an Alcantara against a Cincinnati team, but I just don't like playing pitchers in that park. Alcantara is pretty much a ground ball type pitcher, as we know. You could use Tiki Toussaint is probably, if you guys do believe that game's going to play, I think he's a great pivot from Matz. I think you can potentially get maybe 5, 6, 7 Ks out of Toussaint, maybe 5 innings. But other than that, I mean, if you wanted to use a guy like maybe Carlos Hernandez against a pretty weak Cubs team that can't seem to hit their way out of a paper bag, and I know we were talking about that low team total before we came on and not seeing how they're going to score 4 runs today. But yeah, I mean, there really isn't a really strong pitcher. I mean, like I said, you can make the case for Adam Wainwright being an SP1 today, but I do think on FanDuel, Matz is probably going to be chalk. So yeah, I think at this point, Matz is probably my favorite pitcher, especially for the price at 8K. I'm probably going to have some Tiki Toussaint, but other than that, I just can't see myself paying for Wainwright.
All right. No Wainwright today, JT Hayes. Can you start with a little Adam Wainwright breakdown for us?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, first of all, G. Risen's talking about FanDuel specific, and that price point's probably difficult. With the bats today, perhaps, I don't know, but on DraftKings, I mean, Wainwright is squarely one of my favorites on this slate. He's coming off of a performance that was much more difficult against the Brewers at home. Brewers got to him a little bit, but he still pitched well. And I think he's got as much of a chance as any pitcher today to be the top scorer on the slate. So Wainwright is definitely going to be in play for me here. A couple of other guys, I'm really not going to venture too far from the other pitchers that he mentioned. You've got Steven Matz in a great matchup against Detroit at home. Even with the roof open, this stadium has played a little bit smaller. Obviously, talked about a few months ago how they put a humidor in there, but they haven't been there in a couple of years. So, and I do think that the Jays are going to have an easier time. I think today might be the day they finally break out against Drew Hutchison and this terrible Detroit bullpen. After that, he mentioned Tiki Toussaint. I think he's a good pivot. He's a good option on DraftKings. And then Carlos Hernandez as well in a matchup against the Cubs where it's a little bit cooler than it has been in Chicago, wind blowing in a little bit. And Carlos Hernandez has pitched pretty well. And we know all about how the Cubs are tanking. So outside of that, I really am not interested in Sandy Alcantara today. I play him a lot more than I think some other people because I think he does have tremendous talent, but he's coming off of 2 just outstanding performances. And this Cincinnati Reds team, even when they're not putting up a ton of runs, they put the ball in play. And you've got a couple of guys on this team right now who are red hot, including Tyler Naquin, who had another 20-point performance on DraftKings last night. So I actually think the Reds are an underrated stack today because I think Alcantara is going to get some ownership. So that's one of the more interesting leverage spots for me. It's really tough to think about playing Detroit here with this lineup. Normally if Matz is 40-some% owned, you're like, all right, I'm going to attack him. But yeah, maybe he gives up a couple of home runs, maybe even a G. Risen's guy, maybe he gives up his 500th. But I don't think outside of that, there's a whole lot to worry about here in this Detroit offense.
A little news here. White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson is out again. General leg soreness and fatigue. No injury. Okay. Interesting here. JT, before we wrap up pitching, it's a Sunday morning, 47 likes, 11 dislikes this morning, JT Hayes. I actually don't mind dislikes because that means people are watching. Your thoughts on the like number today? And G. Risen, you never posted this in the live chat, did you? You never did this in Discord, did you put it in there?
I don't think so, no.
That's why nobody at RPS knows we're on.
So now they have to go to the extra step and Google Run Pure Sports YouTube, figure out which show it is. We're gonna have to send you back to like the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, G. Risen. I mean,
hey, I'm self-taught by the great and wonderful Simon here at our.
I can't take any argument with that because Simon's the best. But I will say this: we are here. It's Sunday morning. 190 of you watching now. The dislikes only confirm your self-hatred, right? If you're on here watching a free show and hitting the dislike button, you have to question your life's choices, right? Why are you watching a free YouTube show only to hit the dislike button? So anyway, for everyone else that is not on the verge of suicide, please hit the like button, subscribe to the Run Pure Sports YouTube network. And let me say this before we move on, because Millie has been chirping, our favorite troll in the chat. Millie has been chirping about the Blue Jays on Friday night. Well, a couple of things. One, even if the Blue Jays didn't score a lot of runs, your reasoning for not liking the Blue Jays, which was the fact that the Tigers had a winning record against them in Rogers Center 5 years ago when they last played games there, was stupid, okay? The second thing I will say is your Braves scored a total of 3 runs on Friday night, and you're not a member. If you were a member, you would have seen that as I was building lineups, I came off the Jays, and my primary stack, which went in my cores, was the Rockies and the Indians. The Indians scored, I think it was 12 runs on Friday night, Millie. So it's too bad. You're missing out by not being a member, because then you would get the great plays that come in right before lock. What do you have to say about that, Holden?
What do I have to say about that? I think I don't know Millie. Is Millie a man or a woman?
I'm not sure. I think I know who Millie is, but I'm going to keep that under wraps for now.
A man or a woman?
Probably a man.
Yeah, I would think so too. I don't think any women are tuning in to see G Risen.
I think these 11 dislikes. I mean, Big T and our boy Hoop was just recently at the live FanDuel final yesterday with Osimo and a bunch of his Osimo crew. So, it's probably they all kind of got together and said they're going to come on here, and kind of bomb our show. I mean, we don't know what happened at that live event yesterday. Big T took a picture with Osimo and it looked like he shit his pants the way Osimo's face looked like he was biting it. So, hey, you just never know. You never know what could have happened at live event with a few beers. I saw Draft Cheat had a Siege little bobblehead on his shoulder, which was
that's the other reason I didn't want to see him. I got to deal with Draft Cheat every day during the week. You think I actually want to go see this guy in person? No, I do not. I literally see him Monday through Friday every day. So there was no reason to go see Uncle T and Hoop. I know some of you are like, why didn't you go see the game? No, that's not my thing. You have to set us up. You have to set this up days in advance. Uncle T, you say I look like shit. That's fine. That's what happens when you bang women half your age. Okay, so suck it. Anything else we need to say, JT? Do you want to hit the like button? Do you want to hit I'm fine with the dislike button too.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people get upset about that, but we're up to 13 now. Let's try to get to 20 dislikes.
Let's try to get to 20 dislikes. I like that. 25, maybe we'll give out some 4s.
Yeah, I just posted the show in the Discord, so the viewership went up. Congratulations, G Risen.
It went up a whole 12 members. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, that's not bad. And you should be said I look great. So thanks, you should be. I appreciate that. Let's move on. Let us move on. RPS NFL 25. 15, I should say. Lisa Ann, porn star, joining us on the DFS side. I usually have her on the bet side. We're going to do her on the DFS side to go for the NFL. So I'm excited about that.
Did you say we're going to do her on the DFS side?
You're sick and try and be professional. Girls with daddy issues do rule, Steve Anthony. Listen, this is what we go for. Gorgeous with a bad self-esteem. That is the recipe for thumbs up. So let's go to the offensive side, JT Hayes. And we're going to go game by game because you are a wonderful man, and I love making you happy. This Baltimore team is probably not going to score a lot of runs. It's amazing how bad they are against righties. On the Atlanta side, though, John Means, isn't he coming off a decent start? I'm a Means fan, by the way. I'm a Means guy. But he's got to go up against Atlanta, who was, as Uncle T would say, hurtful. They were hurtful last night. That is so cliche. JT, give me an Atlanta-Baltimore offensive breakdown.
Yeah, I think in terms of Means, Means coming off a good start. He obviously had a great start to the season through the no-hitter in Seattle. And then he got injured. He's been back now, a few starts off of the IL. It's a really tough matchup. I certainly have no interest in Means at 8.9K. And, the bullpen behind them has been a little bit better in Baltimore this weekend, at least. They've held the Braves pretty much in check. I think it was 5 runs yesterday, 3 runs on Friday night. You have to assume that this offense is going to break out soon, but they are dealing with at least Travis d'Arnaud away from the team on paternity leave, signs a big contract on Friday and immediately takes the rest of the weekend off. What are you going to do? But the bottom half of this lineup, Contreras, Heredia, you got Jock hitting 9th. It just doesn't scream to me full stack, on this slate. And there are some pieces here. Obviously, you want to take a look at Jorge Soler. Austin Riley just continues to be on fire. And then I do have some interest in Tukey at 8.4. I think Tukey is in a position here where he can put up a decent score on DraftKings.
What do you think here, Mr. G. Risen? You got anything from this game today? Little Atlanta Braves. Talk to me about their pricing on FanDuel too.
Yeah, I don't really have any interest in the Orioles bats against Tiki. Like I said, I think I may use him as a pivot off of Matz, which I think who is going to be fairly popular. But like I said, I'm just going to make sure this weather is in line. I'm not sure if the pitchers are going to be in play with the rain here, but the bats, if you guys do feel they're going to play, it's probably a little bit more safer than the pitching. But you're right. These Atlanta team, they just been on fire. If you pull up the last, the hottest hitters in MLB in the last 7 days, 2 weeks. You got Freeman up there, Riley's up there, Swanson's up there. Albies hits lefties really well. I prefer him from the right side. So, but they are really expensive. It's a pretty expensive stack. But if you use Matz today, I don't see why you couldn't use these Braves. Albies is 4,300, Freeman's 44, Riley's 41, Swanson's 38. So yeah, that stack is really expensive. If you look at the Orioles runs they've given up, like I've mentioned a few times, it's unbelievable how many runs they've given up, even till you drop down to like the 4th or 5th most runs in the last few weeks. They're 30 and 40 ahead of that. They're just giving up an obscene amount of runs. I actually thought that I saw they gave up the most runs in like a 10-game period from like the Cleveland Spiders or some shit like that. It was something crazy. So they just been hemorrhaging runs. So yeah, they're really in play. Hey, if they do play, maybe we'll get some lower ownership because there's some fear of the weather there. But I can't argue how good of a spot they're in. I really can't. Means has given up 10 earned runs his last 8 innings. So 16 hits. He isn't walking anybody. So I just I can't argue the Braves. I'm just going to have to watch the weather a little bit.
Okay. Very good. JT, would you like to plug the site here? It's a free show. If you don't like us plugging it, too bad. RPS NFL 15. What do we got coming up, pal?
We're here to plug the site. This is all about promoting the site in addition to giving you some good daily fantasy sports information. We've got NFL. NFL, Holden, I'm sure you know because you're going to be very busy.
Love it.
We're going to have a show on every single day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I think tentatively I'm going to be doing something on Saturday. That may change. And we're going to have the same thing we do for every sport. And as you mentioned, right, all sports, one price. RPS NFL 15% off of your lifetime subscription. And we're going to have playbooks, score plays, slate breakdowns. We're going to have a low-owned stack. I did a low-owned stack piece last year for every Sunday slate. And one thing that I think is really important, a lot of things, and in the first year and a half here, we've done this too. For the smaller slates, somebody would put up a core, somebody would put up some thoughts. And for NFL, we're going to cover every single slate in depth. So we're going to have different cores, different strategies for every single slate. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you get in now, you get that huge discount for all sports. So that means when NBA starts, you got the big end of the year MMA cards. It's just going to be a free-for-all.
NY Jets, I was not watching Sam Darnold last night. It's what's interesting about preseason football is rarely will I watch it live. I'm not going to the all 22 in preseason. but I will watch NFL Network. They just run all the games back to back to back. And Mondays are my day off, so I'll just go be doing that all day. G Rison, you excited about football? I thought there were, I think JSU's probably on the same line with me with football. Basically, it's my favorite thing ever and ever in the history of the world. So who else loves football at RPS? Everybody?
Football's the king. Football's king of fantasy sports. So, it's a great time of the year here at RPS. Like we said last year, we were just kind of starting out, kind of getting our things and our shit together. So this year we're going to have it honed in a little bit better. I think we're going to put out, like you said, we're going to have content for all the showdown games. And those who've been members know that they pretty much crushed the showdown slates in NBA. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was like a Twitter screenshot party every damn night. And there was many nights I was thinking, damn it, I didn't get in on the fun. But NFL is huge. I think, the prize pools are generally bigger. There's more contests for selection. This is primetime DFS season, fantasy season. So great time to jump on board and especially use that 15% off code.
All right. Where are we with the likes here? We hit our number. We needed 20 dislikes. We got it. How many likes? And since we hit it, should the people that really didn't want to give a dislike, should they just go to the other side and hit the like since we hit the 20 or what?
Here's what I would say. 246 watching. I actually have a pretty hot take about one of these games. And not only am I not going to give that, but we're not going to give stacks if we don't get to 150.
The only people on here who say mean things about me are the non-subscribers. When you subscribe, they love me. The subscribers, at least a 95% hit rate. You know this. So all the guys that I call freeloaders are still upset at me. You're not freeloaders. I love you. Sign up, RPS NFL 15, except for the guy that wanted to give just JT and G Rison likes and not me. You can kiss my ass, sir. So let's move on to the next game. The Baltimore Orioles have lost 17 games, but we already did that one. Detroit and Toronto. Is that really Drew Hutchinson pitching today? The former Blue Jays prospect who got absolutely lit up in his first start coming back here, G Rison. You cannot be happy about this. You cannot be happy as a Detroit fan. Is Toronto taking him to the woodshed?
Yeah, I would say Toronto's probably going to take him to the woodshed. They're going to be so chalky. I think really the distance between the Toronto offense and everybody else is there's a pretty big gap there. But it is baseball. So, I guess, if you wanted to fade it, I think you got to full fade it. Don't play any one-offs or anything else. But if you're going to play it, I think you just got to go overweight. I think, throw in a guy like Kirk or somebody like that in your stack would be good to help you be different. But to me, the Blue Jays are in a really good spot. That Tiger bullpen is awful. They're just using Hutchinson to eat up some innings, as far as I'm concerned. They're just that lineup for the Tigers they're rolling out is AAA. It's just to me the Tigers are mailing it in today. I just think they want to get out of Toronto and move on to the next series. But they've basically I think this is the third day in a row now the Tigers have seen a lefty. So they haven't fared too well, obviously, this whole series. I just think I think it's a disaster all the way around for the Tigers. I think Matz is a good play, but I do think that leading with Guerrero Jr., who seems to found a little bit of power here recently, would be leading it for me.
Okay. JT Hayes, what are we doing against Hutchinson today? Is this Toronto team too chalky to run out this afternoon? And what about the Detroit side against, as you call him, Steven Matz?
That's right. He comes from the applesauce family. Here's the thing with the Blue Jays team, right? They have too much power in their lineup. They're going to break out one of these games against one of these terrible pitchers. I don't know if it'll be today against Hutchinson. The one thing that, like I said, at the open here has me a little concerned is how this park has been playing since they got back there. I think they've only got one game where they've scored more than 8 runs. And it's just something to keep an eye on. But they'll definitely be in my player pool here. I likely will not have any Detroit Tigers in any of my lineups.
And no, you'll have no Blue Jays either. Just don't play any Blue Jays today, okay? Let's get everybody off the Blue Jays so I can be on the Blue Jays.
I mean, JT will be the first one to tell you there's a humidor up there in Toronto. So, maybe we'll turn it on a little extra, turn it up a little bit for us today. We know Miggy ain't hitting a damn homer today. I've been off that one.
Oh my God. How much money did you lose?
I know you guys are teasing me. I bet it for like 3 days in a row, the first series, and I told Big T I was going to bet it, and then then the next day, the Monday, I didn't play it, and then Madden walked him a couple times, so it was kind of funny. But I tweeted out today. I think there's the longest that has gone between 499 and 500 was 15 games. So I sent a tweet to Big T, over under this 15 games. I think he's maybe 6 now. So, but we'll see.
How much money have you lost on this? Seriously, like what units?
I lost like $400 or $500. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, hey, the fun part about losing money is going to get it back.
You could have bought a pound of your finest marijuana for $400 to $500. It's very disappointing.
What kind of marijuana you get for $400 or $500, but I don't think I'd want a pound if that was the.
No, that's true. A pound is too much. Maybe like 2 ounces, 3 ounces. Sorry, JT. It's legal where we live, so
we'll do a Cooper. We'll do a Cooper. We'll do a cutie, a 4-pack. We call it up here.
All right, do that. It's Sunday morning, so we go off the rails just a little bit. It doesn't matter. Hit the like button, sign up, RPS NFL 15. It does seem like every time we do a free show, we get more subscribers, which is really cool. And we appreciate that, guys. So, but JT Hayes is pissed. There's no doubt. 123 likes, 23 thumbs down. We are trying to set a record for the most thumbs down.
I think we already have.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I'm sure we've got. It might be. Can we try to get to 30 dislikes? What do you think about that?
Hold and go the other way. I love it.
Let's really take this up a notch. And we'll take the show up. But did you talk about the Blue Jays, or am I ready to move on?
We got to move on because you got the bet show in 30 minutes, and we got to.
I don't give a shit about them. Joey Work and JJ can suck it. I got no rush. No rush today.
Like I said, we don't get to that. And actually, since the number's moving so slow, and we've got more people watching, it's now 175. We don't get to 175. We're not giving stacks.
175 dislikes?
175 likes.
So our sweet Travis Mangone just put a message in the chat that said the Toronto roof is going to be open today.
Oh.
So
it's been open the last couple of days.
So that's
the whole series.
Yep. So just in case anybody was wondering, we got to give a little shout out to Travis.
Yeah. Run Pure Bets telling me to relax. No, I really don't care. I do. I love those guys. I'm always in their Discord. Miami and Cincinnati. I think it's NY Jets that is sitting in here just saying, I want all the Sanchez's. I want Jesus Sanchez. I want this Sanchez, Dirty Sanchez, all types of Sanchez, JT Hayes. How much Sanchez? How much Marlins do we have in the circle of trust this afternoon?
So this is a game that I have some interesting takes on, and I'm not going to give them unless we get to 175. So I'm gonna skip, and we'll talk about this game at the end.
All right, G Rise, and we're going to talk about this game at the end, and we're going to see, because I do like NY Jets though. So if you get a chance,
he's a member, and he's able to send a message to me.
Right.
He's able to send a message in Discord that I'll read and I'll respond. But I'm not giving it to everybody until we get the requisite number of likes. Simple as that.
I love that. I love that. So G Rise, we're going to skip over Miami, Cincinnati.
Okay.
And we'll go to the White Sox in Tampa Bay. Chris Archer. Yeah, he's back on the mound with Tampa Bay again. We got Reynaldo Lopez. A+ stuff. Has never been able to harness it, but we've seen some good stuff out of Reynaldo recently. G Risen, let's go to you here. Do we want to go with these raised bats, which have been on fire? Anybody from the White Sox? There is no Tim Anderson today. What do you got offensively from this game?
Actually, I think Tampa is going to be my sneaky stack for the day. I think you may get some ownership on Lopez. I like all the lefties here for Tampa. I was actually talking with a buddy of mine this morning before we went on. He actually shipped $100K last night on FanDuel, and he was telling me that he's going to ride the wave and he's going to roll with Tampa today. And I heard him out, and I kind of like what he was telling me. So I'm going to have of my 5 teams, I'm going to throw in a little bit of Tampa, especially the lefties. So, yeah, as far as the White Sox bats, yeah, you get Archer back. I don't know what type of leash that guy's going to have. I mean, if there was anybody maybe I'd play as a one-off is Eloy. He hasn't had any homers lately, but the guy's he's been hitting the ball really hard. I mean, it's just been poor luck. I think homers are coming. I think it's been a little over 10 days since he hit a homer. So I do like some Eloy. I think he's got double dong upside, but yeah, for me, I think Tampa is, as you said, they're really hot. I don't think anybody's going to play him today. I think you're going to get them low owned, and I'll take some Lau, some Choi, some Meadows, and some Wander Franco, and even some Wendell. I even like Kiermaier. I like all the lefties today over there in Tampa.
Oh, it's JJ from the bet side over here. Get bets if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, RPS NFL 15 for the bet side too. Everybody's terrific. Looking forward to NFL season, and we got live shows with Keg. We got everything going on the bet side too, but I still can't stand you, JJ. So JT Hayes, Tampa Bay, and the White Sox.
Yeah, I actually like both sides of this game offensively. I think that Chris Archer in his first start back, probably going to give up some runs here against this White Sox team. And then like G. Risen said, I think Ronaldo Lopez gets some ownership at that price, and it's a bad matchup with all these lefties in this Tampa Bay lineup for him. And I can see some mini stacks of Tampa Bay making it into my lineups today. Absolutely no interest in either of the arms here.
No interest whatsoever. Yeah. All right, so the Tampa Bay lefties, then that's what we're looking at.
Okay. I wouldn't discount Nelson Cruz and Wander Franco at the top of that lineup either.
All right, let's stick with you here, JT Hayes. Washington at Milwaukee. Milwaukee 5.5 implied total. Washington about 3.5. Washington been a little spoilers. Carter Kieboom, after this is his 3rd call up, he's actually producing now. Yadiel Hernandez has had some games. They still got Soto. That being said, do we want to play any of these guys from that side? And what about I feel like the Milwaukee side might be a little popular today, going up against Nolan and a whole bunch of arms in the bullpen. So is it a Milwaukee day? Any one-offs from Washington?
I think for me, Milwaukee is definitely in play against Sean Nolan. Nolan made his first start in I don't know how many years. That's the state of Washington's pitching here. Like a number of these teams. You just talked about Drew Hutchinson making a start for the Tigers. He's been out of Major League Baseball for a couple of years. Same with Nolan. Nolan, not a particularly great start his last time out. I think it was even against the Mets, who kind of sucked. So I think the Brewers are going to put up a ton of runs here. The bullpen after Nolan is just terrible. Washington just trying to play out the string and lose as much as they can. And I think they're going to be able to accomplish that goal today.
No, the thing is they're trying to win, but their bullpen's so bad every time they get a good start, they just fold.
It
really is fascinating.
When you trade your major league quality assets,
the front office,
you're trying.
The front office is rebuilding. The players actually want to play. G. Risen, yes, sir.
I actually like Milwaukee as well. I'm not really interested in any Nats bats, but like JT mentioned, Nolan. I mean, he probably really doesn't even deserve to be in the major leagues at this point. But as far as you look at the Brewers, Yelich hit a couple dongs yesterday. I mean, he was close to having even bigger day than that. I was watching that game. He seemed to be locked on. So I do like some Yelich, even though the lefty. But obviously, Al Garcia, I think he's probably my favorite play of the bunch here. He generally smacks lefties pretty well. I think he's got a above 600 slugging percentage. I read. Against lefties. So I do like some Willy Adames. Yeah, I think there's a lot of runs to be had here in Milwaukee. So definitely interested in some Brew Crew today.
Ooh, a little Milwaukee love. Seattle and Houston. These Houston bats, man. Going up against the lefty today, Tyler Anderson. I'm waiting for Yordong to go deep. Of course, we love Altuve in this type of matchup. Brantley has some reverse splits if I remember correctly, which is kind of weird for Yuli Gurriel because I always thought that he hit righties better than lefties, and he's a righty. So G. Risen, I think Houston, some bats have to be in play here on the Seattle side against Valdez. Why bother? What's your take on this game?
I just want to go back real quick. I just noticed that they scratched Cruz today. They just scratched Cruz out of the Tampa lineup.
Nelly Cruz out.
Yep, just want to bring that up. I know we just skipped and talked about that. So they actually moved G-Man up to the 2 spot. So he was down a little bit. So they moved G-Man up. They moved Wander Franco down to 3. So, yeah, it looks like they threw Brett Phillips in the lineup. So I don't mind that at all. So it doesn't really take me off the race. But you're talking about Houston. Framber is interesting to me. I do have some interest in Framber today. I think it's either him or Wainwright is going to be the SP1. I think it probably end up being Wainwright on FanDuel. So I am interested in some of the righties here. I think I like Correa. I don't know if I want to go the lefty Jordan against Tyler Anderson. I'm not quite sure about that, but I do think you could stack up these Astro bats. I think you're going to get them pretty low owned today. But Correa here would stand out for me, especially at shortstop today.
Yeah. All right. Let's go, JT Hayes. Give me the lowdown. Astros?
Yeah, I mean, Houston, 27 runs in their last 2 games. At some point, they're not going to score 15 runs. I don't know if it's today. I mean, Tyler Anderson actually does give up quite a bit of hard contact to lefties, and I think a higher ISO to lefties as well. But I don't know. I'm usually hesitant to go back to teams after they score 15 runs and 27 in 2 days. Usually at some point that merry-go-round is going to stop. And I would, especially if the Astros are going to be highly owned, I would rather take chances on some of the other teams that we've talked about here. Okay. So if I go any Astros, it'll be very light.
And no Seattle. We're not bothering with that.
I don't think so at this point. I think Framber, the price is a little bit too high for my liking, but given the context of the slate and who I think is a playable pitcher, I almost think he's got to be in the player pool right now.
Izzy brought this up. He goes, Cruz didn't want that Ronaldo heat. Couldn't imagine using Devil Rays on the slate. You know, that of all the name changes, that's the one that bothers me the most. The Devil Rays, just to the Rays. It's stupid. Because Devil Rays makes them really scary.
Well, the devil is bad though, Holden.
Why?
You can't have bad things in the name. I mean, haven't you seen this? I mean,
this is everybody's sensitive time in this.
Devil's food cake.
You're gonna see. I guarantee you're gonna see another 3 to 5 professional teams change their names out of absolutely nowhere over the next 3 to 5 years.
Braves.
Marlins. I mean, the Indians, Guardians were fighting it hard too, just as hard as the Braves were. Braves were like, no, this is proud. This is about pride. Maybe down the road here, there's going to be a couple of these teams, like I said, that are just going to out of nowhere. Some marketing guy is going to say, or girl is going to say, you know what? It'd just be better if we didn't have to deal with this. And boom, off they go. They become, something.
Yeah. Peter's not happy with Marlins. Braves are probably going to get canceled. I don't know what else. They're going to do. Giants. I mean, I can't stand large people, so we should probably cancel them too.
Giants are scary, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Question for both of you. I feel like G. Risen's going to say yes. If the Rays won you $1 million, and we're talking about if they won you $1 million today, would you worship the devil, G. Risen?
If the Rays won me $1 million today, would I worship the devil? I don't really worship too much other than maybe some.
We're talking $1 million. The devil won you $1 million. Would you not believe in it? This imaginary fictional creature that burns your face.
I don't think the $1 million would change my thought process. I think I would still, stay focused on my everyday life. I don't think $1 million would change me that much.
Izzy,
I'd have more beer to drink though.
Yeah, Izzy, you said what the fuck, Holden? You're the one that brought this up and caused this conversation.
I'm a little disappointed in Izzy actually for not being able. For not possessing the imagination to play one of the top offenses on this slate. It's disappointing. I got to be honest. Disappointing.
Neil Dogg's a little upset at me. Neil Dogg, seriously, $1 million? You couldn't just like throw your belief system out of there? We're all capitalists over here. You know, we're willing to sell our souls, aren't we? You did bring up worshiping the devil, Izzy. You brought the word devil in there. So it's all your fault, my friend. Anyways, we have more
Drew in the chat. Drew in the chat said April 20th is my Christmas, but actually at 4:20 every day, we generally like to bring up safety meetings around my neighborhood in the garage with the neighbors. But yes.
Yeah. Okay. 156 likes. We're getting there, JT. Now,
I don't think we're going to make it, and I'm kind of excited to keep this to myself.
I do. I think we're going to get it. The problem is kind of, we got a little cocky. I saw 11 dislikes before the show started, and I wanted to get cute. So if you want to take a dislike away, get us back to maybe 11, and then flip it over to the like side. We're getting close to JT's play. You don't have to do it now. I'm just saying within the next 5 minutes or so, you're going to need to take it off. You're not getting JT's play. Devil's lettuce is what Solid Picks is calling it. I've never heard of that. Devil's lettuce. 2 more games. I don't think we give a shit about any of these. Maybe St. Louis. Maybe St. Louis and Pittsburgh. G. Risen. Steven Brault, the lefty, going against the Pirates, and Adam Wainwright just expected to shove it right down the Pirates' faces this afternoon. Give me a little lowdown here. Any Cardinals bets that we can pick off here?
No, I can see a case for playing maybe a guy like Tommy Edman. I could see, maybe some one-offs if you wanted to look at my favorite name to say, Lars Nootbaar. If you'd like to play him, I actually used him as a one-off yesterday. But I was laughing yesterday. I was following along with that live final, and Yoshi Tukasugo was in the winning lineup yesterday. Had a couple Pirates that were on.
Sasugo. I wasn't going to correct you. I couldn't. That was too egregious. Sasugo.
Well, hey, I gave it a shot. I tried to,
horrible.
Put a little extra in there for you. But anyways, I can't say that I'm a fan of the Pirates bats, but I do like a couple of these Cardinals bats as maybe one-off plays, but I can't say I'm going to stack the cards today.
Apparently there's a few people a little more concerned about their eternal soul than us. No, there would be no selling of an eternal soul for $1 million. $1 billion? Right, JT? I mean, are we going back like $1 billion?
I mean, you want to have a discussion about faith. I don't want to have a discussion about
faith. This is not about faith. Would you sell it for $1 billion? Eternal soul.
No, of course not. Of course not.
I couldn't do
hypotheticals.
I would have thought twice about it, but I couldn't.
You'd have to give it some thought. You have to give it some thought.
Yeah. There's no eternal. There's no DFS.
Holden sold out his soul yesterday. Couldn't go hang with the boys. He had to go hang with some, piece of ass that he brags to us. He gets every.
What would you do? What would you do?
I would have went and hung out with my boys for the day. I can. Get
that is so. That is a horrible idea.
I mean,
horrible
turn the light off, get you some lotion. You could have just as much fun and still went out with your boys.
No,
you should always go hang out with your boys.
I can talk to them on Zoom. There's no physical pleasure from being with them.
Okay. Maybe that's
right. JT, did you talk on this game, or are we just going to move on?
I'm kind of in the same boat as G Risen here. Maybe a couple of one-offs from St. Louis, but God, this park sucks.
That's so mean, Neil Dog. Last game is the Royals and the Cubs. I bet the under in this game, so I have no interest in it. JT, can we just cross this off the list?
Yeah, I mean, outside of Carlos Hernandez, I think, who at 5'9" continues to be a little bit underpriced for what his results have been. I think he's in play on DraftKings. So.
No. G Risen, what do you want here?
I mean, for 7,100 on FanDuel, I mean, if you can get a 30 burger out of Carlos Hernandez, I'd definitely be interested. I mean, he's gone pretty much 6 innings his last 3 out of 4 games. So the Cubs are god awful. I mean, I think he's got some win equity here, even though the line is pretty much even. But yeah, I think you could definitely use Carlos Hernandez. I don't mind that at all. I just I just don't think he has very much as far as Ks in his bag. So, but the Cubs do suck. So I can't argue with it. There's really not a pitcher today I think is going to put up like a 50 spot. So if you wanted to pay down, I can't argue with you here.
I love the chat. I didn't hear a goddamn word you said there, G Ryzen. This chat is just, it is on fire today. These guys are amazing. Quentin would let me purchase his soul. I mean, we've gotten deep on this show. JT, I'm looking at the likes here. The dislikes went down from 33 to 25. We are at 173 likes. Can you please give out this Miami-Cincinnati game, because I'm really excited about it. All you wanted was 175.
We're not there. We're not there.
Take your dislike.
Meet the goal or we don't meet the goal.
Take your dislike, hit the like button, and then on your way out, you can go back to the dislike. just trick JT Hayes right now. G Ryzen. Hey, Neil Dog, that's not nice. G Ryzen, Cincinnati and Miami. I don't know if we're getting to 175. Oh, 182. Oh, JT, we got there so easily, it's not even funny. Yeah. Yes, G Ryzen, Miami and Cincinnati.
Well, I'm going to save all the fun, juicy stuff for JT since he churched this one up a little bit. But, I mean, hey, let's look at it. We got the Great American Home Run Ballpark. It's 91 degrees, as Big T said. You got Alcantara, who is generally a ground ball pitcher, but the Reds have been on fire lately. I mean, you got Naquin up there in the leadoff spot, which I really do like. He's only 3K. You got Tyler Stevenson in the 2-hole. He's only 2,600. And then you got Votto, who's been absolutely on fire because of that little girl, Abigail. And then that lineup is just, it looks pretty good. I'm not really a fan of, I'd like to see Suarez in there instead of Barrero, whatever how you say his name. But I do like the Reds today. I actually think maybe a Reds and Tampa stack today would be interesting. Probably get some. That's a good way to win a tournament today. So I think that might be a way I may go, but we'll see before I put my cores in the run pier here in about maybe 20 minutes.
JT, just stop talking about the souls and billions of dollars. We're trying to keep it professional here, but since we got to the like number that you needed, let's hear about this sexy little thing. Is this the Eiffel Tower game of the day?
Well, I mean, that's interesting. And here's what I'll say. I think Sandy Alcantara is going to get some ownership here because he's been so good. And I talk about this all the time. You don't necessarily want to play the pitchers that have been pitching really well because they're going to fall off. And one of the things that's interesting to me is that the numbers that Vegas has out for Sandy Alcantara to get a win are better odds than for Vlad Gutierrez. Now, for weeks, we've been waiting for Vlad to bust. We've been saying the underlying statistics, the underlying metrics for Vlad have been terrible. I think this is a very, very interesting game stack here. Either a 4-4 or a 5-3 on the Cincinnati side. Both of these bullpens are below league average. And I think it's a bust spot for both starting pitchers. So I'm going to go, I don't know. If I'm making 75 lineups, I'm going to have 10 game stacks of this game. Different combinations, different pitchers.
Yeah, G Ryzen, somebody in the chat just said that Brian says the Baltimore game is getting postponed. I don't know. Don't you windmill yet? Plus, we can't. I mean, all we saw was your arm there, but this is what it looked like.
Yeah, you were trying to move some foul stinkies
together. I'm still not worried about this game. I'm sorry. I'm not going to worry about it. If I owe G Ryzen 100 milligrams edibles, so be it. I think they get this in, pal. But it is time for us to give some picks, right? Is it time? Yes. You know what? I'm going first today. I know Mangone's in the chat. I'm going to go with the Mangone play of the day. All right? The Mangone play of the day. Vladimir Guerrero. We're just going to keep going with high-priced guys that are guaranteed to have good days, just like Mangone picks. So we're going to go with the Vladimir Guerrero Mangone play of the day. Did you like that, G Ryzen? Jesus Sanchez is my other guy.
I like that. My play, the up and smoke play of the day. today for me is going to be Brandon Lau hitting leadoff for the Rays.
Okay. Eiffel Tower, play of the day.
Yeah, let's go with Jesus Aguilar. 3.6 on DraftKings, first base. He actually leads the league in RBI. It's nice and hot in Cincinnati. I think it's going to be a good one.
No, Yankees game is canceled. They canceled that yesterday. Boston game canceled. They got that hurricane going up there. I'm with you, Nabi. 100%, dude. 100%. We're just trying to have some fun here on a Sunday morning. But, yeah, those two games are out, and G. Risen thinks that the Baltimore game is done ski. We'll sell this one more time. Hit the like button on the way out, please. RPS NFL 15. JT, you know what I think works a lot? Threatening people. Usually I have a shank to do that, but you use your mouth. So why don't you threaten some people this morning?
I didn't. I just said we're not going to give out the plays unless we get there. And the people responded.
Oh, that was a threat.
The people responded. They wanted the plays. They did what it took to get the plays. Even right there at the end when you were like, we're at 173, will you yield? I wasn't yielding. And look at that. So there we go.
G. Risen, anything you would like to add before this train wreck ends today?
Nope. We're going to sit down. We're going to get some Modelo's. We're going to probably have a safety meeting here. And then I'm going to put my cores in, run Pure Sports.
Hold on. What is a safety meeting?
Don't ask.
It's where all us neighbors, we get in the garage, we burn one, and we talk about the neighborhood safety. Everybody needs to be safe in our neighborhood. That's what we're all concerned about. So that's where we meet, and we keep everybody safe.
Okay.
If you'd like to come to a safety meeting one day, you probably sit in your chair for about a half hour.
It sounds awful. Like you are trying to make sure kids stay away from drugs, and you're doing drugs.
Well, they are not considered drugs anymore. They are now legal.
No, they're still drugs. Alcohol is a drug. Weed's a drug.
You know what this reminds me of?
Somebody that
drugs
does a lot of the weed.
Drugs is, those are.
You know what I want you to do? The next time you see Uncle T, can you spike his drink or something? I would love to see Uncle T just completely high off his ass.
This reminds me, I have to say, this reminds me of how far my life has come full circle, and maybe not in a good way, right? When I was a 23-year-old Border Patrol agent in Texas, we had a unit, a community relations unit, and it was called the War on Drugs Unit. And it was 3 people that went out and talked to kids at schools about how they shouldn't do marijuana, all this stuff. I never got on it because I never stayed there long enough, but I would suspect that there's no War on Drugs unit visiting these safety meetings, and it's probably a good thing for everybody involved. On that note, G-Risen, take us out of here. I got lineups.
No, hold on real quick because I got to go to the bet side. RPS NFL 15 if you want to do that. And then the last thing is we're 4 away from 200. Just get us to 200. It'll be great. It was a Sunday morning. We woke up for you. So
that's true. Let's get to 200. Do I have to
Don't do drugs, folks. Don't do drugs.
All right, guys. We out.
What's so